Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are headed to Provence to learn about French country interior design. We'll cover the characteristics of this warm, rustic, and refined style and talk about how you can get this look on a budget. Please keep in mind that French country homes vary by region, so the architecture, color palettes, materials, and decor may differ as their design is influenced by the colors, foliage, landscape, seasons, and weather conditions in their area. If you are working in a French country color palette, you'll stick to warm, soft colors that have a medium to low saturation or intensity, and you'll avoid using overly bright colors. Light shades include creams, blush pink and peach tones, warm yellows, faded or dusty blues, and soft muted greens pulled from the French countryside. Here are a few paint swatches in the French country palette. The use of light painted colors continues in furniture. Chalk-based and milk-based paints are often used on furniture pieces like cabinets, chairs, and tables. If furniture is not painted, a light-colored stain may be applied. When it comes to patterns, you'll find prints like small florals, stripes, and block prints on everything from upholstery, drapery, tablecloths, and wallpaper. Perhaps the print that defines French country style the most is toile. Toile is a traditional pattern printed on cotton or linen fabrics and is characterized by a repeated pattern of detailed pastoral scenes. Typically, the print is in a color like blue, green, or red with a white, cream, or beige background. French country architecture and interior design make good use of the land's materials. Flooring and walls are often rustic looking as natural stone, like limestone, is used in construction. Clay was readily available, so brick, tile floors, and decorative tile work were common, and the hexagon-shaped tile became a hallmark of the design. In addition to tile and stone, wood like oak is used as a flooring material and is often lightly stained and cut into wide planks. On the ceiling, you'll find slatted or coffered ceilings and exposed wooden beams in light and dark stains. Ceilings have a layer of mortar or plaster, and wood is often aged and weathered looking. Walls can be limewashed, painted, or covered in wallpaper. Popular wallpaper includes embossed, botanical and animal print, and of course, tulle. Wrought iron and cast iron are used in a French country home on stair rails, light fixtures, and furniture. Wrought iron is iron that has been heated and then shaped with tools, while cast iron is iron that has been melted, poured into a mold or cast, and allowed to solidify in a shape. In the very beginning, French country furniture was humble, plain, and functional, as it was made by local carpenters who focused on practicality. Over time, furniture evolved as master cabinet makers and craftsmen created pieces with curved lines, carved floral details, and lacy ironwork. Antique wooden furniture is a staple of the French country style. Perhaps the most recognizable French furniture pieces have Louis XV silhouettes. These pieces are characterized by curvy design, cabriole legs, and carvings. The design is often used in armchairs, bed frames, dining sets, and armoires. Antique armchairs and accent chairs are often upholstered with wooden arms and legs. Dining chairs can be casual or formal, the former of which might include wooden chairs with woven seats, while the latter may be Louis XVI style chairs. These chairs are elegant with oval-shaped backrests, fluted legs, padded arm supports, and ornate carvings like rosettes. Wooden furniture pieces can be left natural, be stained, or painted. In general, they would be allowed to patina to show their history and wear. Early French country kitchens were unfitted as homeowners utilized dish drying racks and cabinets, pantry cabinets, pie cabinets, and panettiers to protect food, servingware, and linens from the elements and critters. As time went on, lifestyles, carpenter abilities, and accessible materials changed. As a result, kitchens often mixed built-in cabinetry with open shelving and standalone cabinets. Wrought iron tables and chairs are often used in outside dining and entertaining areas as they hold up against the elements. Designs are simple, elegant, and beautiful. Bed frames may also be made of iron or wood and be upholstered in a linen or cotton fabric. Rugs are often antique or vintage and feature colorful patterns. More neutral floor coverings come in the form of woven rugs, which are durable, while adding a layer of coziness over a stone or wood floor. A characteristic of French country design is mixing rustic and simple with sophisticated and ornate to create balance and harmony. The selection of light fixtures is often a good example of this, as simple rooms showcase an intricately designed overhead light, which adds the refined elegance that is typical of French country style. When it comes to overhead lighting, a French country home will feature delicate metal antique chandeliers like brass chandeliers with crystals hanging from them and curvy wrought iron chandeliers. Most of the time, light bulbs are exposed. Another overhead lighting option includes pendants made from glass and metal. Pendants tend to be more simple in their design compared to chandeliers. As for sconces, you'll see brass, gilded, and iron fixtures either hardwired or fitted with candles. Sconces range from relatively simple to ornately designed, the latter of which could feature curves, flowers, and leaves. Table lamps are antique or vintage and not overused. Lamp bases are usually more simple and not overly designed so as not to compete with overhead lighting. Bases are iron, wooden, or ceramic, and lampshades are usually a neutral color. When it comes to adding decor and accessories in the French country style, be sure to incorporate practical items made from the materials of the region and mix rustic and refined items. For example, bring in French tiles and pottery. The access to clay in the countryside allowed for the creation of lots of tiles and pottery in tones of tan sand, dusty rose, red brick, tawny brown, and terracotta. The clay was sometimes covered in a white glaze and then printed with a blue or green pattern meant to mimic porcelain, but it was a more affordable option. Pottery is often arranged on open shelving or in a dish drying cabinet over the sink. This type of cabinet allows the homeowner to safely dry and store plates while displaying their beautiful designs. Copper pots and pans are often hung on the wall, above the stove, or another place that allows for easy access while cooking. Flower boxes and salt boxes beautifully conceal food and keep it fresh. French country homes bring the outdoors inside with botanical-themed bed sheets, quilts, throw pillows, draperies, and pillow covers that are made with cotton, linen, denim, and chambray. As for art, oil paintings of landscapes, pastoral scenes, and still lifes are popular. The older, the better. Gilded frames and frames made from wood elevate the art, while unframed art creates a more relaxed look. Other hallmarks of French country style include antique mirrors with detailed gilded frames or distressed wood frames, sink skirts, cafe curtains, wicker furniture, and baskets. For greenery and flowers, you can pull from the various regions of France, bringing in lavender, olive branches, and sunflowers. French herbs include thyme, rosemary, and sage. Rather than designing one room in the French country style as I have done in past videos, I'm going to give you decorating ideas for the entire home. Keeping budgets in mind, I'll elaborate on some of the characteristics of French country style and offer suggestions for bringing a little French country into your home. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, you know I am a big advocate of thrifting, but I know not everyone has access to thrift stores, so I have created a list of French country items on my Amazon storefront, and I'll include as many links as possible to the secondhand resources and other sites. Okay, let's start in the kitchen. Many of the kitchens I showed you had copper pots and pans on display, so if you already have copper in your home, consider a pot rack. If you are looking for copper, I have had luck on eBay and Poshmark, but the most affordable copper I've found is at the thrift store. To bring in some texture, add a sink skirt, linen apron or hand towels, and oven mitts. Feel free to mix French country patterns together or stick to a muted color palette. A trick for affordable linen hand towels and napkins is to buy linen at the fabric store. If you choose a 15% linen and 85% viscose fabric, you can rip the linen into rectangles. It's an easy no-sew project. I mentioned French pottery a few times, and you can incorporate pottery into your home by bringing in a vase or a crock. Leave them empty on display or use them to hold lavender and other greenery or for your cooking utensils. Bread bowls can be used to hold, well, bread, but fruits and vegetables that don't need to be refrigerated are probably a more practical option. Aim for a wood that looks more rustic. You can bring in white platters, plates, pitchers, and bowls with colored patterns in the French style. Use the plates as they were intended or treat them as art by displaying them or hanging them on the wall. If you have an empty space above your sink, consider placing a dish drying rack or cabinet over the sink. I love this idea because I could hand wash my plates and they would drip dry into the sink and not be on my countertops. This option is from Magnolia, but I bet you can find options on Etsy and at antique malls. Let's talk about living rooms and bedrooms. If you are going for a French country look in a big way, you'll probably opt for some Louis or Louis-inspired furniture. Places to look for affordable options include Facebook Marketplace, estate sales, antique malls, thrift stores, especially a restore. You get the idea. Here are some options I found on Facebook Marketplace. Since French country style was popular in the United States in the 1920s when soldiers brought elements of this style back with them after World War I, and it's come in and out of fashion from the 1960s through the 1990s, you'll be able to find these items secondhand. While each iteration is a bit different, you can easily access this secondhand furniture and decorative accents in the French country style, because what goes around comes around, and it's coming around again. For fabrics, look for cotton, linen, or linen-like curtains. While silk does appear in the French country style, I would avoid silk with a sheen. Contemporary French country style would mix prints, so try a block printed quilt or cotton sheet set in a dainty or dramatic fruit, floral, or geometric pattern. The block print was inspired by Indian textiles, but reflects the colors of the region. If you're feeling really French, go for the toile pattern on throw pillows, curtains, sheets, or furniture. For mirrors, art, and picture frames, you can keep it rustic with wood or go a bit more formal and feminine with detailed gilded frames. Bring in metal candlestick holders and candelabras. If you are so lucky as to have an outdoor space, adding terracotta pots is an obvious choice. If you want something more ornate, consider an urn. Bring in a dining table and chairs made of cast iron or wicker. If you do not have an outdoor space, bring those pots and urns inside for your plants. In my French country dreams, I have lavender on the windowsill behind the sink. But for now, I'll just be bringing in dried lavender, lavender bunches, or lighting lavender-scented candles. I've loved olive trees for years, but they are not practical in my New York City apartment, so I have faux instead. I have 2 faux olive trees. One is 3 or 4 stems that I stuck in a plant pot to mimic a tiny olive tree. And I also have an olive leaf wreath, which I've linked on my Amazon. And those are some of my ideas for bringing French country into your home. Next week, I'm headed to a Goodwill and a My Unique to see if I can thrift some of these items. If you liked this video, give it a like and subscribe to watch more videos like this. I'll see you next week. Bye!